Welcome back to the wilderness. So this turn, just finished the 1 p.m. turn a little while ago. Um, I had to do some adjustments. So, like I say, this is still under development and stuff. And I just happened to get Dick Whitaker took a look at this, and Al Smith took a look at it. These are the guys, Dick Whitaker's the GBACW head honcho there, and Al's one of the developers for this game, him and Dick Vollers. And Dick sent me the latest version of the terrain effects chart for this game, which if anybody's ever been down there to the area around Chancellorsville or in the wilderness area and seen how thick those woods are even today, then you would understand some of the rules modifications that'll be in this game when it gets released. And one of them I can talk about is artillery moving through the woods. And this is what Dick was trying to point out to me, because in this scenario, the Second Corps artillery, pretty much all of it except for a couple of batteries, come on in this on this May 5th scenario, the whole day thing. So, and that's a lot of batteries. And I was thinking to myself, wow, man, where are these things going to go? Because I was going to have to split them up along, we'll go left, center, right. And I needed to get artillery, if I could, to all three of these locations to help these Confederates out, especially over the roads. But I could not get these guys. Move the camera. So I could not get these guys over here quick enough. Plus, they're going out of command. You can attach a battery to a brigade. So, but then I would have had 3 more batteries over here. And so I figured, well, you know what? We'll just take which artillery functions a little different. You got 3 chits that you throw in there to draw. Like I say, they're still building the battle book for this. I think the first scenario they have in there is pretty clean and straightforward. But they're still working on these. I think this is the first. I imagine the guys have tried to test play it, but from what I understand, I'm one of the first ones to sort of test play this scenario. And I know the Shenandoah group, we're talking about, we're going to be meeting December 3rd, I think, is the next time I'll be able to meet. And I think we might attempt to play the scenario on the southeast map. I think it's one of the last in the battle book. But, one mappers is what we're playing. So, I mean, I could set up the whole thing and play the campaign game here, but I don't think the battle book's far enough along yet for that. So, moving that artillery around, and what I had to do, the adjustment I had to make after Dick had pointed out what once he sent me the new TEC, and the reason why there so much artillery did not get into the lines. Well, so this is how they've sort of modeled that. The movement through the woods is, first off, it's disruptible terrain, and it has, or disorderable terrain, and it costs 5 movement points for an artillery battery. And you know how the changing of who's on top of a stack works if you're a GBACW player. So it costs all your movement to do that, and you're not going to do any firing when you do that. And it's not the artillery that does it, but if you put it like I was trying to get the artillery up in these breastworks, and I did initially, and then I realized after Dick sent me the corrections, I was like, well, there's no way I could have done all that. So for the ones that were off the beaten path, as you can see, I pulled them back out of the line. There's some here, one here, and then you got these batteries over here. So there's only a handful of batteries that are in. They're like moved up in a road and got in there before the Union got to where that 4 hex number was. But also, you've got line of sight. You can't see. There's no shooting here like there wasn't into the woods. So batteries getting into these positions here where there was no visual from the Union, that was still, granted, it took the movement point cost, but I was still able to get them in there, either disrupted or not disrupted, depending on die rules and stuff like that. Of course, the artillery, the cohesion ratings are pretty large. All right, so the other thing I had to fix was with Wright, and they straightened me out on that. So apparently Wright comes in, and he's got Ricketts' division, who's not on yet, so Wright's division from the 6th Corps, and then Ricketts' division. Ricketts going to come in with 2 of his brigades, and Wright comes in with 3, and then he's got a brigade from Getty attached to him. And I need to read up on attachment. So what I'm assuming is Getty's going to act as that 4th Brigade in Wright. So Sedgwick is not on the map. So Wright is already taking a one die or a one number hit on command and efficiency because of that. That's the way I'm going to translate it. And like I say, until the battle book's completely done, and they say, or they might, like some of the games, nope, Wright's actually in charge. He's the commander of that thing, and you don't worry about that. So right now I'm taking him as -1. Fortunately, they rolled a 4 for their activations last time. Warren has got to cover a lot of ground in this game for the 5th Corps. So Warren's here, and you're with the woods, how thick these woods are, trying to get him to a spot where he can reach everybody. And you can see here, I've got him 4 hexes away because he's got an 8 command range. I got him 4 hexes away from Griffin. Going to here 2, and then down the road 3, 4, and he can hit Wadsworth, and he was able to hit Wadsworth was able to hit Rice and Stone. Poor old Dennison out here from Robinson's division, who's coming around the flank, which seems like every time I play something on this day, this scenario, whether it's the short one or this all-day one, I always seem to bring Dennison around. Now, this time here, there's no boundary. I was able to move him out and around. So, Confederates, all their reinforcements already on. I said that in the first one. It's 2 other brigades from early that show, or Gordon, who starts on the map here, and then Hayes and Pegram, who come on. And then the artillery, that's it. So everything is in the general area where I wanted to get it to. Breaking up early. 1 brigade over here. Got the Louisiana Tigers over here. Got Gordon's Georgians here in the middle. And then Pegram over here on the right side, which allowed me to shift the 3rd Brigade of Battle over here behind this line. Now, I would have to say that Rhodes's units are the weakest of the bunch. So I may have to keep Gordon ready to move. I may have to get him out of here and on a road. So one of the things I did was that I was talking about in the last video, that Meade and Grant, they wanted Warren to attack. All right, get over there and attack. Opportunity, you attack. Get on them quickly. And he did, and the rule they're working on about the 1 p.m. thing, it's after 1 p.m. is where they'll suffer a penalty. They haven't attacked. Well, they have. And let me tell you something. You can tell I was using them because you got 3 brigades fatigued. You got 2 collapsed regiments, and it's at the end of the turn now, and I haven't calculated it yet, but I'm pretty sure, I'll tell you in a second, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Schweitzer's brigade is BCE because everybody's either collapsed or disrupted. I haven't calculated the final segments of the game turn yet. So that's brutal. Coming into these breastworks is brutal. And then when you're and granted, even for the Union, sometimes I was rolling good, but these breastworks take so much off it. But when you're rolling 8s and 9s, and well, actually in my case, I probably rolled a couple of 9s, and then you have another mechanic that applies to the game when you roll a 9 that I have not had happen yet, because when I roll the dice for that mechanic, which I'm not going to tell you about, eventually you'll see it, I'm sure, through the gameplay. If you don't roll a certain number, that mechanic doesn't happen, and it can change the face of the battle, which when it does happen, I'll explain it to you. All right, I attempted to build way over here to get Rhodes and all his units over here into the breastworks, because I figured, you know what? The Yanks are starting way back here this time, but they pushed, and they were able to get up here, and as you can see, these 2 units here, they will flip, and this unit here will flip. They will flip into their breastworks complete because they didn't do nothing. Both of these 2 regiments here from Pegram, they were starting to build them, but they got hit. And and I said, do I just not want to take fire, or they're going to get shocked? So I decided, you know what, let's return fire. And it worked because it chases some of this stuff off here, okay? There was going to be this guy here really defended well in a shock combat with the 2 units here. Where's the other unit, you ask? Well, look at this. This system amazes me, man. So these 3 units up here from 3 different brigades, okay, are all routed. And look at these units, 12, 9, and a 10. And that has to do with your second disorder and not being able or having to roll a second UDD to see if you either pass a route. And you can see this guy here had no leader with him. He ended up rolling a 9. All right, you see he's a 4. He's a 6. So you get a high roll on that chart where you either pass it and take a strength point loss and retreat. If you fail it, you route. Off to the routed box they go, which means now I got to dig in and read up on the route rules, and can I even possibly get them back on the map, which if this is a one-day turn, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so the front line of the Confederates, nothing has come out. Nobody has been pushed out except for over here with Rhodes, which seems to be the standard every time I play. All right, these units here, this guy's been pushed back, but he's still there. He's got an ammo depletion. He'll get rid of that next time, hopefully. And then, like I say, battle's sitting right here behind him. I got to recover those units with the next chit that Rhodes will draw. Ammo depletion's not too bad in this one. I haven't had that many. I've had a few. And let's talk about Wright. So Wright came in march order, and I had to make a correction, like I say, once I got some updated information from, I believe it was Al that sent me that. It might have been Dick that sent it, because Dick sent me the terrain effects charts. I ended up getting the first one of these brigades into advance order and left everybody else behind them still in march order. So they're here. They're ready to go. Everybody's recovered. I think I had one unit that disrupted, moving through the woods. And then these guys here, I'm sure on the next phase, this group will probably come out into advance orders. They hopefully will go into attack orders. And then it might be just a move up little by little, push some ground up in here, and then get the rest of the stuff up here behind them and get them ready to get into the attack too. Because I got a feeling that if I can get all four of those brigades, and then you've got Ricketts' two brigades sitting ready to come in up there, that's going to be a pretty potent force to hit this left side of this line. And one of the comments made to me, and I believe it was Al, said this will be interesting because a lot of this will depend on how Early's three brigades react or how they perform. And I agree with him. I think he's right. I think that the frontline troops, excuse me, that were already deployed, I think they need to hold their ground, which I don't know about Rhodes. See, that's going to, if this attack goes through, they get around. If this attack goes through, and then the attack over here by Wright is strong, it's going to be some awful lucky die rolls, I think. For the awful good die rolls for the Confederates and awful bad die rolls for the Union, I think. Now, I will say this. If you look at these units here, let's zoom in on Wright's brigade. I guess I can talk about this. You do have a new type of unit here. So everybody recognizes the green units. Look at those morale cohesions, 5, 5, 5. Then you got this one here called S. All right. These guys are the ones whose enlistments are about to end, close to ending. All right. Whether it was like the 1 year or the 9-month enlistments or whatever that is. So they get treated in certain circumstances like green units. And believe me, there's quite a few of them on here. What bad timing, right? So there's quite a few of them on there. You like those counters? I made those myself. Well, I printed them and I cut them and then I pasted them or spray adhesive them to a 2mm chipboard. And then I got my nice little radial cutter out with the slide thing on it and cut them all out. Not too bad. A couple of them are off center on the back sides. All right, so this is Wilderness. We're done with the 1 p.m. turn. Future great battles of the American Civil War. Now hear me out. The name of the game is not the Wilderness. And until somebody tells me I can say the name of the game, you probably won't hear me say it. Okay? See, did I miss anything here? Nope, think we got it all covered. So that's 4 game turns in. We got to go to 7 p.m. Or that's 3 game turns in. We got to go to 7 p.m. All right, it's Hexy. Let's get this thing up so y'all can see what's going on here. And if you notice anything, Kevin Combs, he caught me on the column extensions. I don't know why, but when I reset everything and changed all these brigades around, I forgot. I never even did put the extended column things in there, which I got them in there right now. Didn't think I hadn't affected anything yet because they weren't but this far, like right in here. So when I made my modifications, I added those things. I haven't thrown anybody into extended line yet because with the Union trying to get in here and get some shock to get these guys out of these breastworks, I'm trying to keep as much mass as I can. But you got to be careful when they're out here at the end of the field and cannons are firing at them, which the Confederates do have guns sitting in here. But I'm telling you, not having any luck. Had the one right here, and that is literally it. And that was just a 6th strength unit in there. I think it was 5 when he got hit. So like I said, Union's sitting on 3 routed, majorly big brigades. 2 collapsed, and I think he's got an entire brigade that's already BCE'd, which they can come out of with their recovery there. So, all right, let me get this thing up here so I don't see what's going on. Like I say, if you catch something, let me know, because it's I'm even though I know I played a scenario 2 and I played Cross Keys, Port Republic's a lot smaller. The amount of units that are on there, so it's kind of, I'm finding myself digging a lot more in the rule. But I'm tell you what, I'm uncovering a lot of stuff that might have been minor or trivia. Like here's a rule to y'all can keep in mind, and I'm actually requesting an answer on this. If an artillery unit fires approach fire at an enemy unit, and that enemy unit closes on them after the approach fire, and then fires because he's in attack orders or whatever, can that artillery unit then turn around and do return fire on that same unit that he just approach fired? So I'm waiting for an answer on that question there. That's one of the things. I think I had two or three questions in about this. All right, anyhow, the wilderness. Let me know what y'all think about this, and give me your little props on this. Give me some comments. And if you like to say, if you see anything missing, let me know. All right, it's Hexy. Talk to y'all later.